7 Insider Tips for Smart Tire Shopping. These are 7 insider tips about tire shopping that most tire shops won't tell you directly, covering everything from sales tactics to the technical signs that separate quality service from corner cutting. Tip number 1. Understand tier pricing and brand positioning. Walking into a tire shop expecting an unbiased recommendation is a bit like asking a car salesman which brand he honestly prefers. Major tire manufacturers position their brands across different price tiers, and shops earn varying margins on each. For example, Michelin owns BF Goodrich and Uni Royal, offering premium, mid-tier, and budget options all under one corporate umbrella. Bridgestone similarly owns Firestone, giving them multiple brands at different price points. Here's where it gets interesting. A shop might steer you toward a Goodyear Wrangler when a comparable BF Goodrich, All-Terrain T/AKO2, or Falcon Wildpeak AT3W might better suit your needs at a different price point. Sometimes you're paying $120 more per tire for a brand name when the construction, warranty, and performance metrics are nearly identical to a less marketed competitor. The price difference adds up to nearly $500 on a set of 4 tires, and you might be getting equivalent performance for significantly less money elsewhere. Watch for shops that exclusively push one manufacturer's full lineup. While Michelin makes excellent tires, so do Continental, Pirelli, Yokohama, and Toyo. No single manufacturer dominates every category, and recommendations should consider your specific vehicle, driving conditions, and budget, rather than whatever brand the shop has the best dealer agreement with. Tip number 2. Kickbacks and incentive programs. Brand positioning is just one piece of the puzzle. Tire shops participate in incentive programs where major tire brands offer bonuses for hitting specific sales targets, and these programs use tiered structures where selling 1,000 tires earns one payout, selling the next 1,000 earns even more. This creates a real problem because the best tire for your vehicle literally changes based on which sales target the shop is chasing on any given day, and once they hit a tier, they might pivot to a different brand if the next level seems out of reach. Watch for sales staff who insist one specific tire dominates at everything, because no tire actually works that way. Manufacturers engineer tires for specific purposes. A Michelin Defender T+H excels at highway comfort and longevity, while a Goodyear Duratrac performs better off-road but wears faster on pavement. A Continental DWS 06 Plus handles all-season conditions differently than a Bridgestone Blizzak specializes in snow. Every design involves trade-offs and compromises. When someone claims a Hankook Dynapro or Falcon ZX excels at absolutely everything, they're making recommendations based on what earns them the most money or what inventory is gathering dust in the back, not what genuinely suits your needs and driving conditions. These incentive systems have basically poisoned the well when it comes to getting honest recommendations from most tire shops. Tip number 3. Experience matters more than you think. One tire shop manager told a story about hiring an employee from a big chain store who started there with 0 tire experience, and 4 months later, that person was promoted to manager of the entire operation. 4 months isn't enough time to learn the complexities of tire service. 6 months isn't enough. Even a full year barely scratches the surface of what you need to know. Real experience comes from seeing thousands of tires come through the shop, performing thousands of mountings, learning from mistakes, and developing the judgment to spot problems before they turn into expensive failures. The person sitting behind the mounting machine doing the actual hands-on work is usually the lowest paid employee in the building, which creates a situation where the most hands-on work gets done by people with the least experience and the smallest stake in quality outcomes. Finding shops that invest in their people by paying above market rates tells you something important about how they operate. Because when shops pay well, employees stick around longer, and that retention builds the experience base that leads to quality work. Equipment matters too, but skilled people matter more. You can buy the most expensive balancer on the market and still get terrible results if the person operating it doesn't know what they're doing. Find a shop that invests in both good people and modern equipment, and you've found something rare. Tip number 4. National chains versus local shops versus mobile installers. National chains aren't automatically terrible. Many are owned at the local level and operate more like independent businesses than corporate franchises. The challenge is doing your homework to verify that the specific location has talented people and quality equipment, because the name on the building doesn't tell you much about what happens inside. Local mom-and-pop shops with just 2 or 3 locations often employ people who've been there for years, sometimes family members or the founder's kids who grew up around the business. Starting local makes sense both for supporting your community and for finding these experienced long-term employees who actually care about the work. Mobile installers offer an interesting alternative. You might assume someone working out of a trailer can't match the quality of a brick-and-mortar shop, but many mobile installers have trailers large enough to house the same high-end equipment you'd find anywhere. And the real question becomes what specific tools they use and what backup options they have when they run into difficult balancing situations. Mobile installers face a powerful incentive that traditional shops don't. If they mess up and need to come back for a second visit, they lose all their profit on that job because of the time and fuel costs involved. Traditional shops don't face that same pressure. When something goes wrong, you drive back to them, sit in line behind whoever got there first, and they might even try to sell you brake pads while you're waiting. Neither setup is perfect, but understanding these different incentive structures helps you make better decisions. Tip number 5. Proper mounting techniques. Protect your tires. The tire bead is where rubber meets metal, the critical connection point between your tire and wheel rim, and protecting this component requires specific procedures that many shops skip to save a few minutes. Before breaking the bead, the valve core needs to come completely out and all air pressure needs to escape. The tire should be totally deflated and squishy with 0 psi remaining. Breaking the bead while air pressure remains can cause structural damage that you won't see until the tire fails weeks or months later. Side shovel bead breakers apply tremendous force, and when technicians rush through the process and hammer down on a tire that still has air in it, they can tear the bead on the inside or even damage the wheel itself. Lubrication prevents bead damage, but watch how technicians actually apply it, because many just grab the applicator in an automatic motion without checking whether enough product is coming out. This becomes especially important with older tires around 3 to 4 years old, which are more prone to tearing during removal. The proper technique requires pulling the tire up after removing the front side and reapplying lubricant to the inside surface before taking off the back bead, because that inside surface is where most tears happen when it catches on the inside rim. Most technicians skip this extra lubrication step entirely because it takes an extra 30 seconds. TPMS sensors are made of plastic and snap easily during mounting, so if your sensors worked fine before service but suddenly they're broken afterward, the shop broke them while mounting your tires. Shops can buy these sensors in bulk for $13 to $14 each, but they'll charge you around $60 to replace one, and that price includes unmounting the tire, installing the new sensor, and remounting everything again. When a shop tells you sensors broke, ask to see the actual broken parts as proof, because sensors don't just fail spontaneously during normal mounting unless someone made a mistake. Valve stem caps might seem like a tiny detail, but they prevent dirt from getting into the valve system and help maintain proper sealing. So leaving a shop and noticing your caps are missing tells you something about how carefully they handle the details. Tip number 6. Balancing problems and weight chasing. Balancing a tire means mounting it on a machine that spins it and uses sensors to figure out exactly where to place weights for perfect balance. Aluminum wheels use adhesive strip weights where each individual piece weighs 1/4 ounce, so a tire that needs 3 ounces requires an entire strip split exactly half and half between the inner and outer rim surfaces. Modern balancers use lasers that show precisely where to position the weights, and the machine expects you to split the weight perfectly down the middle. Problems start when technicians rush through this step without ensuring the weights are properly centered and evenly distributed. If the initial weight placement is even slightly off, the machine will detect that imbalance and call for corrections, which starts a cycle where the technician keeps adding small amounts in different positions without ever fixing the root problem. This is called weight chasing, and it results in wheels that have weights scattered all over like someone went crazy with a label maker. The solution is recognizing when something's wrong with the initial setup and starting over, but that takes time and experience that many technicians don't have. Stacking weights becomes necessary when you need to clear brake calipers, like on a Tundra with 17-inch wheels where clearance is tight and significant weight needs to go in a thin vertical strip to avoid hitting the caliper. This is perfectly fine when done correctly, because what matters for balance is the location of the weight, not whether it's stacked or spread out. One peculiar detail is that weights actually stick better to other weights than they do to a clean wheel surface, which makes stacking more reliable than you'd think. Tip number 7. Road force balancing and premium service. Standard spin balancing fixes weight distribution but ignores other factors that cause vibrations. Road force balancing uses specialized equipment like the Hunter Road Force Elite, which applies pressure to the spinning tire with a roller that simulates actual road conditions, measuring tire runout, wheel runout, whether the tire pulls to one side, variations in the internal plies, and multiple harmonic frequencies that affect ride quality. Industry standards say passenger car tires should stay under 20 pounds of road force, SUVs and XL ply tires under 24 pounds, and LT tires under 35 pounds, though some customers with 50 pounds of road force feel nothing while others notice vibrations at much lower numbers. The machine identifies the high spot on both the tire and wheel separately, and by rotating the tire on the wheel to position these high spots opposite each other, called force matching, the road force often drops dramatically. This process requires deflating the tire, breaking the bead, rotating it to the exact position the machine specifies, and remounting everything, which means you're essentially mounting each tire twice. That explains why road force balancing costs significantly more. A typical price runs around $120 to road force all 4 tires on top of the standard $100 mounting fee, bringing the total to $220 for the complete service. Most shops hold wheels on the balancer using a cone that presses against the back of the wheel, which works fine for 90% of situations but introduces tiny variations that make diagnosing certain problems impossible. Precision shops invest $2,000 in finger calais systems that recreate your exact lug nut pattern and apply pressure exactly where the vehicle does, eliminating all variation and making it possible to definitively identify whether problems stem from the tire or the wheel. When a shop offers road force balancing and charges premium prices for it, ask for a printout from the machine showing the before and after measurements, because Hunter systems include color printers specifically for this documentation. That printout proves you're getting what you paid for and gives you reference information if problems show up later. Understanding weight requirements helps set realistic expectations. Some manufacturers' internal quality control allows up to 1% of the tire's weight in balancing weights, while the industry standard runs at 2%. A 35 by 12.50R 17 tire weighing 71 pounds could legitimately take up to 11.36 ounces under strict standards or 20 ounces under industry standards. Aggressive off-road tires like the BF Goodrich KO2, Nitto Ridge Grappler, or Toyo Open Country with large tread blocks naturally need more weight than smooth passenger car tires like the Michelin Primacy or Continental Pure Contact because of how they're constructed, so seeing significant weight on your wheels doesn't automatically mean something's wrong. The tire might simply be built for a specific purpose that requires more balancing weight. The combination of these 7 factors determines whether you're getting quality tire service or paying premium prices for substandard work. Sales incentive programs create financial pressures that push recommendations away from what's best for you. Inexperienced staff cut corners on mounting procedures that protect your investment, and shops without road force capabilities or proper mounting equipment simply can't deliver the same results as those with modern tools and skilled technicians. Knowing what to look for and what questions to ask helps you find shops that prioritize your needs over their profit margins, and that knowledge keeps you from dealing with the expensive problems that come from poor tire service. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest automotive insights based on actual data.